thank you, Sanjay, and once again, I congratulate all people who have thought about this new portal.
Yeah, thanks, Piyush, for joining us. So, Piyush, we are waiting for folks to join, and then I think we can kick off the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should give another couple of minutes. It's a Saturday.
Yeah. But I think people, most of the people did the vote for today's timings only. I think a couple of guys were ready for tomorrow's as well. But I think we have to do with the majority of the folks. So meanwhile, Sanjay, would you like to us how your journey is all about, from where you get this idea to invent this group path, and like what triggers you to invent the group path for our automation guys?
Yes, Ankur. So actually, I would say, like, whenever you do any kind of creation or invention for any new thing which is new for our engineers or for our world, is always like it's like just things happen, and some or other incidents will happen with you which will kick you to get that idea, to work on that idea. So something like that sorts of things happen with me. It will never be like like it any invention will not be a pre-planned invention. That will be like a kind of, maybe you can say, marketing study or something, if you work on any idea. But something which we call like invention, it always happen as an incident. So yes, I was in an interview, and interviewer asked me, like, Sanjay, can you tell me about yourself, brief me about yourself, and what you do. So I was telling him, like, my name is Sanjay Kumar, and okay, one flight is going on. So my name is Sanjay Kumar, and I write the automation script, and I mean all those details. And then I said, I'm an automation engineer. So he said, okay, so can you write a piece of code for this, like automate this web page? So I just started writing like everybody used to write, like driver.find element by that way I started writing. And then I was writing locators like manually. So, and like it just I completed that piece of code in 10-15 minutes. Then he asked me, like, okay, Sanjay, I'm done. So Sanjay, I was looking, while you were writing your code, you were doing your things manually, and you are calling yourself automation engineer. Of course, you are automating others' work, but what about your work? So basically, you are automating others' work, but you are doing your work manually. So that I thought, yeah, he's right somewhere. Like, he is saying right point. Like, I'm doing my work manually. So that way I thought, like, yeah, things could be better, could be done better. Like, what all things I was doing manually. So if you see today, like, with the help of CrowPath, whatever you write manually, like while writing the automation script, almost like everything you got from CrowPath, not just the selectors, you get the driver command and everything from CrowPath. So that's solves a lot of problems, and which automates the pretty much everything. And then one day I was sitting with my developer, and I came up with bug, and she started doing something in DevTools. So and this was like after that interview, around 5-6 months. So initially, immediately I didn't started working on that I will automate these things, whatever interview asked me. I'm just like, okay, I'm full of joes now, I will do it. No, nothing like that.
Right.
But that idea was keep running behind in the mind, like something could be done here, because everything is possible. So one day I was sitting with my developer, and I found one bug. So I went to her that, like, see, I found this bug in the UI. So whenever you come up with a bug and you go to the developer, they will open DevTools, and there in the console they will do something, and the bug is fixed. And that is not a so again that thing will come in mind, like, no, in my system it's not working, in developer system it is working, but in tester system it's breaking. So C was doing document.query selector, and then there I asked like, is it possible something like that for XPath as well, like what you did for with the query selector? So he said yes, it's possible with the XPath, and that was the point from where I started working on it. So it was somewhere in December, October, November in 2016, and from there I started working on. So it took like 5-6 months to come out the first build, and then first build came out in April 2017. So from then, yeah, it's here, and it's been almost like 3 years of journey. And with the community support and everyone supports, like it's keep growing, and we keep growing, and we are supporting each other.
Yeah, I remember actually in starting days as well. I was also part of your design team initially.
Yes. Correct.
But unfortunately, I didn't contribute much in longer journey. So my bad.
No. But you always keep supporting us, and like in
Yeah,
any ways, in all the format, like LinkedIn, Twitter. So that is another good thing. So yeah,
yeah.
really thankful that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if almost 10 minutes, so we can kick off with the presentation, guys. What do you say?
I am in fact keen to listen to Sanjay now more.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I think if you would like to,
Same here.
Sanjay, if you would like to tell us the core benefits of CrowPath, like what do you think will be the core benefits of CrowPath?
Yeah, so core benefits is like, if somebody, let's say I'm a beginner, or I don't know how to write the selectors, how to write the XPaths. So those all things you can learn from that, means looking at the CrowPath, and what all things could be automated. Like you see, like if you're writing, if you have never heard about CrowPath, never used CrowPath, whatever you were doing manually, like whatever you were writing, typing, everything you are doing, when you will use CrowPath, you will think, your mind will get a broader view, that oh, this could also be automated. Because
Correct.
what happened, like we become habitual of doing the things whatever way we are doing till date. Like even you imagine, like everybody is doing that like that way. Never thought like even Chrome dev tools, means whatever things you're doing from there, I mean, it's pretty much like hectic, time consuming, and similar kind of tedious things you're doing again and again. But when you will use CrowPath, it will saves a hell lot of time, and one would be able to understand, and he will get a broader view, like what all things he can automate on his work as well. Because this isn't like idea. CrowPath is just an idea. It's not like this is a piece of code or something. It's an idea. Everything is behind that is like, okay, this could also be done. Oh, this also could be done. Like command A, command C, you do, in place of that copy icon is there. So you just click. So that makes your things faster. Like 100 times you do in a day. If you have to copy 100 selectors in a day, you will have to control A, control C, 100 200 times every day, and many times you will miss some or other thing while copying, and when you will be pasting in your scripts. So those small things has been taken care in CrowPath, and which has like saving a lot of time for everyone. So one is thing like, if you are a beginner, you don't know how to write selectors and XPath, what all things could be there that they can learn while writing building XPath on CrowPath. Because that used to give you the error message, what is the like correct format of XPath, what is the correct pattern of CSS selectors, why can't we generate selectors for this element, what all selectors could be possible for this particular element. Because someone, let's say new, even if like someone, let's say after 6 months you started, like you were working on API testing, now you came to web and front end testing, you don't know like how many types of selectors are possible for this particular element if you haven't played much around the DOM. So then so those all things you get to know from CrowPath. And then there are a lot of things, lot of other smart feature in CrowPath, advanced feature, like it was never possible that you can verify thousands of XPath just in like single go. You have to like verify one by one, copy paste one by one, and so those things are possible. And between developers and testers, there is always communication gap, because manual test case, nobody writes the English steps and nobody wants to write them. So those are all, because now CrowPath, with the help of CrowPath Studio, one get the complete scenarios, like complete steps what they perform manually in plain English, which is like very helpful. Like as a developer, I will not have to explain tester that like this is the flow that you have to test for this functionality. I can just save that file. And so those are like just the time, whatever work you were doing like in one day, that could be done in like 10-15 minutes with the help of CodePath, and with a lots of learning and time saving. The time save, whatever times you save from CodePath, that you can utilize to learn something else, as well as whatever learning you will get a hell lot of learning from CodePath, that selectors writing SVG. Like people till today think that there's we can't write the selectors for SVG elements. Even Chrome DevTools doesn't give the selectors for XPath and selectors for SVG elements. So that also possible with the help of CodePath. And if you don't know, because that pattern is little different, so that you can learn like just in single click from CodePath. So yeah, a lot of learning from there and a lot of time saving there. So yes.
Yeah, that seems like fantastic stuff you have built recently. Like a lot of high quality features you have added. Like this, I personally impressed with this entire page XPaths which you have just described. And there's, I think SVG is the recent feature you have added, right? So
Yes.
I think CodePath journey is like going on top of the mountains day by day. So thank you very much for your help for the community. Like it's really helpful. And I think, guys, if you have any questions, you can put in the chat group, or you can ask directly to Sanjay as well. Let's give a minute for our audience to, if they have any questions.
I guess I have a very again a question where I want to see something in demo. So not sure how is it. Have you arranged about it?
Yeah.
Would we be able to do anything? So now he's just Sanjay mentioned about SVG, and honestly, I'm still imagining it. So I just want to see it.
Right.
Sure.
So I think Sanjay, we'll do some presentation kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, sure. So let me
yeah, you can start with
give you
that.
guys a short demo, quick demo, so that like because from there you will get a lot of questions.
Correct.
So that will be really helpful for
really, yeah.
everyone.
So I think over to you, Sanjay. You can start.
Yeah, thank you. So you see, like we can accelerate the. Okay, let me just share my screen. I guess I haven't shared.
Yeah, please share this.
Let me know once you guys are able to see my screen.
We are able
to
see
my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
So one is like you can we can accelerate our like XPath like selectors writing and XPath writing process. So let me show you how that is possible. So for example, in this page, in this page, let's say if you have to write the selectors for this field products, so how you will write it? Okay, and I have already installed CodePath. So if you haven't installed, you can install it. It's very simple. So what you will do it today, like you will inspect this element, right? And then you will do Command F. Like, guys, if you have any challenge like viewing my screen or anything not visible, just let me know. Okay, so how you will do it? Like you will inspect this element, and then you will write it. So this is the element for which we have to write the XPath, let's say. So how, if you try to write the XPath or build your own XPath or CSS selector in DevTools, Chrome DevTools, what you will do, you will do Command F, and then here you will type /A. So just let me type this /A, and as soon as we type here /A, you see the DOM used to scroll up and down. We will have to inspect this element, right? And then we will type, let's say, so here text looks like unique for me. So we'll type text is equal to, and you see again the DOM got scrolled up and down. Again, we'll have to inspect this element just to get that element for which we are writing. And then we will type products, hit enter. So, okay, so 2 of 2, 1 of 2. So there are 2 matching nodes for this element. So you see, like just to write one selector, one XPath for this element, we had to inspect this element 3 times. So there were like a lot of, and do you know like which one of 2, like which are those 2 matching nodes from here? You will have to like press enter. You can't like just in single go, you see that which are those two elements. Let's do the same thing with the help of CrowPath. So if you have installed CrowPath, it will be the last tab here in the sidebar. So you see, you can click here, CrowPath, or you just expand to get the better view. Now for this, you have just inspect once. So this is the element for which we have to write the XPath. So what you do, you just type /A, and you see how easy it is. Like as soon as you type here /A, it is not scrolling up and down. Easily you can build. You see, we are typing text, but when you will type that thing in DevTools, that will scroll up and down. So how tough is that? And you see that every time, like whenever you will type, CrowPath will tell you that this is a invalid pattern of XPath. So let me just complete this first. Products, hit enter. Now you, as soon as you press enter, you will see two elements, and both the two elements are here. Like these are the two elements. So you got to know that which are two elements for this XPath pattern. And you see, like while typing XPath, it is not not creating any kind of challenge for you to inspect this element again and again, and then scrolling down up and down. So that's how like easily you can build your own XPath, and you can learn a lot of things from here. You see, let's say you are typing this XPath here in DevTools, and you are a beginner. You don't know what is the pattern of writing XPath like this way, and you will see that it is showing 0 of 0 by mistake. Let's say you are a beginner, you don't know what is the pattern, you write something like this, it will show you 0 of 0, but you will think that this, okay, 0 matching node for this XPath. But do you know that this XPath is correct or not? No, you don't know, because you will feel this is 0 of 0. But here in CrowPath, when if you remove this, CrowPath will tell you that this is an invalid pattern. If you press enter, this is invalid pattern. Immediately it will highlight in red color. Here in DevTools, that all things you won't be able to learn. And let's say if any element or anything, you're a beginner, you inspect this element, let's say header, and you might be trying that we can write the XPath for this element, but from DevTools, would you be able to learn that we can't write this selectors for this thing, because this is a comment and selectors can't be generated. CrowPath is telling you. But as if you start doing that, you won't be able to do that, right? So likewise, there are a lot of things like you can learn from CrowPath. If someone is new, like this is selector text, selector for selector text, script text, sorry, script text selector doesn't require to write, right? So those are small things and good things one would be able to learn from with the help of CrowPath, and they can build their own XPath. If you have any question, feel free to ask me.
No, this is really,
So
I think,
Please.
great stuff which you just described. I'm really a fan of this stuff only. Like
Yeah.
in console, every time I have to re-inspect the element, but in CrowPath, like we can easily generate the XPath, and we can see like how many nodes are available and where that particular node is.
Yeah, because it also highlight the element, also scroll up the element. Like if you type this XPath here and paste it here, so it will highlight both the elements, and this is highlighted in different color, like green outline, and this is the second elements are highlighted in blue line. So you know that this is the first matching node, this is the second matching node. So if you are in hurry, you can directly use this element, because the first matching node, like in Selenium or any automation framework, it will pick the first element. So if you are in hurry, you can directly use this element to perform on this element. If you want to use the second element, so that also you can build. So a lot of good features are there.
Yeah, Piyush, go ahead. You were asking something.
Yeah. So Sanjay, this is like a plugin to my Chrome browser.
Yeah. Yes. So this is a browser plugin. So like all the download links are here. Like it's available for Chrome, Firefox, Edge browser, Opera browser. So you can install like whichever browser, you just click, and it's very simple to install. So like once you click on that, so you can add it here. I have already added. So
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
it's a browser plugin. Yes.
I just thought for a second that maybe CrowPath only works for Chrome, but
Yeah.
No. I think initially it was for Chrome only, but eventually, I remember that when I joined the design team, it was only for Chrome. So eventually, that's what I was praising. Like CrowPath is journey is going great.
So Sanjay, there's one just out of curiosity, there was one instance where you told that while we are searching, while we start writing the XPath, what we
Mhm.
just you actually told us that the console would not move here and there.
Yes.
So is there a special code written in ChroPath which is actually handled that focused element, or how is it?
Yes. So like, yeah, so yes, for this, everything is written, of course code is written in the background, so that like your view will not be, so that is, this is the best feature of ChroPath, that you can write your own XPath with the help of ChroPath, so that you, it will not make trouble for you, like you will not have to inspect this element again and again. So yes, for that everything is written in the background, yeah, to
Okay,
make things easy.
nice.
Yes. Yeah, and if you
Thank
type
you.
same thing here, it will, yeah, it will, everything start like looking up and down.
So Sanjay, for the beginner, do we provide any help also or assistance for writing? I mean, for automatically giving a suggestion for the XPath and all. I mean,
Yes. Yeah. So yes, for beginners, like everything, all the suggestions. So yes, I'm coming to that one. So what all suggestions and everything is there. Yes.
and
Question.
I mean, I think it can be a too early to ask this question, but if there any provision that we can fetch the XPath of all the element in one go and put it somewhere like this.
Yes. So yeah. So yes, actually yes. All this is possible. Whatever you guys are asking the question. So yes, everything is possible. Maybe like I will start go through the demo, and then you will get automatically all the answers.
Yeah. Now people are
I
engaging.
heard that somewhat. I mean, I need something, but yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So shall I proceed, guys?
Yeah. Sanjay, I think you can
Oh,
proceed with the demo.
okay, thank you. So you see, like looking at this DOM, like let's say if I'm a beginner, or even if like if I'm a pro and writing in selectors also, then also like looking at this like DOM element, immediately I won't be able to identify like what all kind of locators would be possible for this element, right? Like, can you tell, means we can't say that this class could be used, this ID could be used, because we don't know whether they are unique or they have like multiple occurrences in the page. So verifying one by one is like challenge, but with the help of ChroPath, like just in single click, you don't have to do anything, just open ChroPath tab, that's all. Everything it will tell you, like for this element, ChroPath is telling us that relative XPath one occurrence possible, XPath one occurrence, ID one, name two occurrences, class name two occurrences, just in single click. With just you have to open ChroPath and it will tell you all the possible selectors. So let me show you here how it is possible. So for example, you see like for this element itself, you see we inspected this element. For this, it is telling you this is the XPath. Link text is possible, partial link text is possible, absolute XPath, and the tag name is one. So occurrences it is telling here. So just by clicking on the element, it tells you all the possible selectors along with their occurrences. So how easy it is. You need not to type, or I mean you need not to waste time, like what all types of selectors are possible for this element, what all occurrences are there, which one should be used or not. So it's showing in green, orange color. So it's very helpful in that case. And if you're a developer also, like you want to know like what all selectors are possible in this for this. So everything it just in single go it tells you. And the kind of XPath it used to generate, that is also like very good XPath. It generates every time, so which one can use easily, like in their script, in their code. So let's say for example, so here if you see, let's say for this element we have to write the XPath. So what you will do, you will inspect this element and let me write the XPath for this element. So when we write this element input, and let's say name is equal to, we take name is equal to email. So it's showing 1 of 5. And 1 of 5 it is showing, and then what you will do, you will go to a parent for this one, right? If you didn't find matching node, or if you can try for other attributes as well, but let me go with the parent one. So for this is the parent. This is 0 of 0. So all these sorts of things will happen, like when you will do such things in DevTools. But when you open CROPA, so basically, like, why it's not giving? Am I doing anything wrong here? So these are the troubles basically you will face. But when you open CROPath, it will automatically gives you the X path. And let me show you how it generates the X path for this element. You just have to inspect this element, and you see it gives you the X path for that particular element. And how it generated this X path, you see this is the element for which it is generating the X path, and this is connecting with that parent which is very unique. So this is the parent. You see, if you click, this was the element input, and this input is connecting with this div element dash email ID, which is the unique one, and it's elapsed the in between parent element, which makes your XPath robust and unique. So it also generates, like, this generates very good XPath, and you need not to, like, you can, let's say you don't want with placeholder, you can uncheck that, it will go with something else, like other attributes. If you don't want with name, you uncheck this, it will go with something else, it's generating with class. And if you want to generate with any specific attribute, let's say you want to generate with name only, you type name here and hit enter, it will generate with your own attribute, because many people have their own ID or data ID for writing robust automation framework. So they introduce their own like QAID, data ID for each element. So you just pass that attribute name here, and it will forever consider your attribute. The top choice will be your attribute. It will not consider this placeholder or any other, like even ID, it will not consider. Whatever attribute you will pass, it will consider that one. And this will be saved in local. So every time you need not to set that variable attribute here. So that saves a lot of time for you.
Sanjay, the view is very much similar in Mozilla as well as Chrome, right? There's not a lot of difference in the visual UI in Mozilla or other browsers and within Google Chrome.
So this is the current 6.0 version in Chrome, which is available on Firefox. Currently 5.0 version is available.
Okay.
Soon I'm working on that, so soon we'll be launching 6.0 in Firefox as well. Current version is 5.0 in Firefox Mozilla.
So okay, so it's very much similar across all browsers, right?
Yes, across all browsers. So this is 6.0 version, which is available on Chrome and Edge browser.
Okay.
Currently, and 5.0 is available on Firefox and Opera browser. Very soon it will be available on Firefox and Opera, both 6.0. Current 6.0 on Chrome and Edge browser.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving on, how to install is very simple. You just go to that website and there it's available. There are like a lot of magical innovations now. So let me show you how, and which can save a hell lot of time for you. So just there was a you can generate multiple selectors, multiple XPath for in a page for as many elements you want in single go. So let me show you how that possible. So let's say in this page you want to generate selectors for all these elements, whatever you are seeing. And you must be having that question, is it possible like just we open and we get the selectors for all the elements? So actually getting giving selectors for all the elements just in single go is very easy. But the problem with that is like again you will have to fetch all those XPaths from thousands of XPath that which you need, because you don't want to perform with each div here, right? So that's why that is the reason that we don't give the XPath for all the elements in single go, because there could be like more than 10,000 elements in a single page, or always there are like more than 10,000, and you don't want to interact with each of them. So whatever elements you want to interact with, for them you can generate the selector. So see how there is a button, like click to generate automation code in multiple XPath. Click on this. Now what you have to do, you have to just inspect all the elements for which you want to generate the XPath. And you see the magic on ChroPath tab that all the XPaths are generating for those elements.
Sanjay, can you please minimize or just resize the window and show it again? It's actually the button where you click on that's hidden by the panel. So if you can just resize that or move the window a bit left side and then click on that button again.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it better?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So you see, this was the button. This was the button. So you click on this.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you just inspect the elements, like simple, or you just click on the DOM here. It will start generating. So you see all the selectors for all the elements got generated here, like, and these are the label names, autonomic products. I mean, what are elements you have inspected? So these are the label names. So from which you will get to know that that what all I mean, this XPath is for which element. And now you see, just you can click on this and all the XPaths got copied in your clipboard, and you can go to your editor and you can just paste them. You can also export in XLS as well. So like whenever you want to refer, you can refer them. As well as you see, there are like a lot of features you can explore. And now you want to just complete, let's say you want to complete the script itself in single go. There is a button like append driver command, you see, and this your complete code is ready here. You copy this, go back to your editor, and you see the magic. So you see all the commands are ready here, and whatever you want to perform with them. So like you want to click, you click. You want to .get text, you do get text. You want to send key something. So whatever you want to do, you can do with them. So basically your code is ready. And if you are writing like page object model, something like this, at find by, you want to prepare your page object model. So what you have to do here, you see, you will get this complete command, the complete page object model. You can make it ready. So what you have to do in your command, wherever you have written XPath, just replace that with XPath value keyword. And wherever your basically label, because for every XPath we used to define a keyword, so that you replace with label value. And now copy this and paste it here in the command box, hit enter. Your complete page object is ready. Click copy to all, come back here, and you see the magic. Your complete,
the name on the label.
Sorry,
The value is the name.
your voice is
label
breaking. I
value.
didn't get you.
Is it clear now?
Yes, tell me.
Go
The
ahead,
label.
please.
Okay, we put in the label, or do we put something else?
So we have given that label value. So like for XPath, so like, because for this XPath, what is the label like for I mean, basically
Okay.
you will call product, I mean, when you will have to say the XPath of this, so what you will say, XPath of products, right?
Correct.
So for products, we are calling that as a label. So
Okay.
for this XPath for this element is this. So when you write this kind of command, right, like at find by XPath this, and then at cache lookup private web element email box, so this you have to replace with label value, and the XPath you have to replace with XPath value. And this is just one time task. The command will be saved in your local. If you open this, close this ChroPath and open it again, now you need not to do anything. You have to just open ChroPath, turn on this command, turn on this, I mean, click on this record feature, and now inspect the element. Now just inspect. You will see everything is coming. So because for every framework, everybody has to, I mean, everyone. Okay, what is happening? I guess I clicked 2 times. So for every framework, I mean, for every framework, everybody has the like one only, right?
Yes.
for every framework you have the same command every day. You are not going to change your framework every day, right? So command will be fixed, so your command is saved. Next time you will open, it is easy to go, like for you it is always easy. You see, everything is generated and
Yeah, but
everything is
Sanjay,
possible, like
possible at a with the same label name, but different XPaths.
same label name.
With different
Yeah,
XPaths.
actually,
Two,
whenever
three
you
pages.
ask, your voice is
Voice is
breaking.
breaking. Can you
Yeah,
type your question?
yeah.
That
Yes,
makes
please, please,
sense.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that will be helpful for me.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I guess more or less he is trying to ask that this record button will actually get all the elements on this web page directly.
No,
With
no, no. Mhm.
is
It will
that
not
not
get
true?
direct. No, no, it will not get directly all the elements on this page. All the elements on this page are already here. It will get you XPath. So see, the problem is like getting all the, I mean, for me, for us, it is very easy to get XPath for all the elements. But again, that will be challenge for you. From like 10,000s of XPaths, you have to identify those XPath that which you need, because you're not going to perform action on all those 10,000s of XPath, right? If there are multiple elements with same label name but different XPath, okay, yes. So then how will we determine which XPath to use? Okay, perfect. So thank you, Anu. This is actually a good question, and many people used to have this question in mind.
Okay.
So yeah. So thing is like you can edit the label name here before exporting the file. Like all the fields are editable here. So when you inspect this element, so it is not going to generate XPath for the all the elements by default. Like as soon as you will open ChroPath, it will not generate for everything. It will generate for those for which you want. So now you know that you want for products. So you will inspect this product and it will generate for products with this one. Now you feel, now you, so this is a suggestion, like ChroPath is suggesting, it's making your task easy. So it is suggesting that my suggestion is you use products label name. Now it's up to you whether you want to use the products label name or you want to use a whatever like you want to use anir, you can use anir or something like products 1 or products 2. So that up to you. So you define your, because this product, I mean ChroPath supports all the like millions of products across the globe and all the frameworks, everything. So it is like, because it couldn't be hard coded like label name or everything. So it your choice, like you can define as per your framework keywords or like naming convention, whatever you are using. So it is just a suggestion, and it will not give you all the like these XPaths for all these elements here. It will like it's your choice for which you want to generate. Then how we
Okay.
will determine which XPath to use? So for this products, this is the XPath you have to use. And you can also, you see, like this is currently generating with ID. You don't want with ID, you just uncheck this ID, and now you inspect this element. Sorry, let's say you want to generate this one. So it will not generate with ID, it will generate with class. So you will, and yeah, so that is the question. Means actually I'm answering for this question only from long, like then how we will determine which XPath to use? Because it is not generating, it is, I mean already it has solved that problem, because it's not generating XPath for all the elements in single go, like automatically for all the elements. It is generating XPath for only those elements, for those elements which you want. It is not generating for everything, it is generating for only those elements which you want. So look, like we are inspecting, we are telling ChroPath I want XPath for this element, so XPath is generating for this element, so now you use this one. It's not generating for everything, because if it will generate like all the elements XPath in single go, then you will have again like a hell lot of, I mean full day you will have to give just to fetch those XPaths, those elements for which you want to interact.
So can I add something to this, Sanjay?
Yes, please.
So I'll be clicking record button first, and
Mhm.
then which all elements I like, I would just keep clicking them. So that will come as a list to me like the way I am seeing it.
Yes, correct. And anytime you face any challenge, like you forgot, like there's this help icon is there. If you click on this, it will open the video tutorial for that feature. So everything is there. So like if you face any challenge using this feature, you can refer this one.
Okay, apart from this, I have one other question actually. So
Yeah.
I see a amazing way of using class or ID or any customized thing. But is there a mechanism to even use CSS? Because this is a quite debatable topic. But
Yes, yes,
can we use XPath or can we use CSS? Why not CSS and why to
yes, yes.
XPath? So
Yes. So currently for page of means multiple selectors, it is Crowpath supports for XPath only. We are adding. You're right. You're absolutely right. So we are adding supports in multi-selector for CSS as well very soon. And in next release, you will get. And here you will see that it has the CSS selectors as well. You see the CSS selector is there, and it used to generate pretty much like everything, like with the command and everything. So you see the CSS selectors as well there. Yeah, so here you get the CSS selectors as well. And if you turn on the command, it used to generate with that. But multi-selectors, we are adding the feature for that.
Yeah,
okay.
because CSS is something like Cypress tool basically allows jQuery and CSS selector. So I think that
Yes,
could
yes.
be
Yeah,
really benefit for us, because Cypress is the new thing which everyone trying to
yes,
use nowadays, because everything
yes.
front end technology is React, Angular.
Yep.
Yeah,
Totally makes sense.
yeah.
And Ankur, I guess it is 45 minutes is going to happen. Is it like unlimited hours or time, or like it's a fixed 45
Yeah,
minutes
I think
from Zoom?
they have given us some love today. This is our first meeting, so
Okay.
they have extended the
Oh,
meeting
okay.
so we
Fine.
can discuss.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Okay. So, yeah. And also you see like even if you're just working with a single selector view as well, you can directly copy complete command. You can turn on this command here, and you can copy this and directly paste it in your editor. So you need not to type that means command every time again and again. You see, and if you want ID one, and you just paste it, not need on to type again. Basically it's just making things simple for you. Okay. Yes, and it saves all config in your local, so no more time waste like again and again. So let's say I believe like somewhere I recently read a comment from Ankur only in Twitter that he said like they used a QA ID or data ID with the help of developer for all those elements to write the robust automation, so that like whenever the selectors will not change very
Correct.
frequently, and they can write the XPath for them. So for example, let's say you have attribute item scope for every element in the page. Okay, so what you have to do, item scope, you just type here and hit enter. If that item scope attribute will be there for the element, it will generate the XPath for that. So you see item scope. And next time, let's say you close this, and next time when you will open this, you will not have to set your attribute again. You just open Crowpath, it will start generating with your attribute item scope. So if that will be there, it will generate with that item scope. So you see, it makes a lot of things very easy for you and saves you quite enough time. Then CP will suggest the relative XPath for user selectors. It means when user will verify the selector in CP. So this is really helpful and very good feature and very unique one. Uh, so so let's say we were writing the XPath for this element, right? And if you guys remember that when we were typing the XPath for this element, /a, and text is equal to products. So we were finding the two matching node, right? But to make that unique, again we will have to waste time, like we will have to traverse through DOM, like up and down, and look for the like how can we make this unique. But you see, Crowpath immediately suggests you that this is the unique XPath for this element, the one which you were trying, and you can use this one. So you see, this is the XPath for the suggested for the first matching node. Let's say I'm a beginner and I don't know how to write the unique XPath for some element. So I'm typing here, but fetching two matching nodes, two elements. In that case, it helps a lot for users, like for the beginners, that okay, this is the unique XPath for this element. Now, how can I can learn, like looking at the DOM, looking at the XPath, what ChroPath is suggested. I will look as a beginner that okay, what all things they have done, what all things I'm doing. So that way I can learn, like correlate, because I have the solution, I have the problem. Then I can see like okay, this is the solution, how this solution has been built, this was the problem, and then I can learn from there. And if you feel like you don't want to generate with ID, you uncheck this ID and then hit enter, it will generate with something else. If you don't want with class as well, you hit enter, it will generate with something else. So that's how it helps a lot, and one can learn easily writing things, writing selectors. And let's say somebody asks you that how many link are there on this page, how many anchor tags are on this page, so, and what is the XPath for the first link on this page. What you have to do, /a, hit enter, it will give you like 47 links on this page, and this is the XPath for the very first link on this page. It's so easy for you.
Sanjay, I want to interrupt here.
Sure.
This relative XPath, I actually wanted to see the CP XPath. So what I just seen, this relative XPath ID equals to menu item. So when if I have to write this XPath, probably I won't be able to use this because it seems to be too dynamic for me. Menu
Yes.
item 21775.
Yes.
Can you give us an example where I actually saw it till the time we have come here. I saw that it was giving very a decent, a very nice XPaths, but just now probably I want to confirm that these
Yes. No.
items we should not these items we should not use, right? Menu items.
Yes.
And
Correct. Perfect. So actually you asked a very good thing, and very good thing. It makes me easy to explain. So you see here, there's an alert icon here. So if you mouse over on this, ID looks dynamic, uncheck the ID checkbox, or delete the ID. So you see, it is suggesting you that ID looks for me dynamic. Uncheck this ID, it will generate with something else. It is generating with class. So you see, again, it's suggesting that class looks dynamic. You uncheck this and it will generate with something else. So the thing is, let's say ABC123. Okay, ABC123 could be dynamic for you, but could be static for me, right? For you, Sanjay Kumar, there are a lot of Sanjay Kumar in the world, but for my wife, I'm the only Sanjay Kumar, right? So it is like identity. There's no algorithm in the world which can say ABC123 is dynamic or ABC123 is static. We have to assume a value. If it has alphanumeric value, it could be dynamic. So you see that, let me copy this XPath here. This is for my application, this is a static. I know that this is a static. Every time this will work. Let me refresh the page now. So you know your application better. So we leave this, we leverage this thing to user, that you know your application better. So if for your application, if ID is static or whatever attribute is static, you use those attributes, because we cannot define that ID is dynamic for your application. So for my application, menu item 21775, this is fixed, this is static, so I can always use it. For your application, it could be look dynamic. So that's why we are suggesting that ChroPath is suggesting that this looks dynamic, you uncheck the ID. So that's how. Does it make sense?
I loved this suggestion part.
Yeah. Yes. So it suggests that. And like anytime you have those, I mean, just in single it will not even take 1 second to generate that thing. Right. Any other questions, guys? Or any suggestion, feel free to give me the suggestion as well, so that like I will like implement those in upcoming releases, because this is like a completely community product, and what all features you see, any improvement, it's like comes through discussions and with your suggestions. So happy to help any feature to add here. Options to generate dynamic. Yeah, please.
Sanjay, just to ask, have we image comparison and image things we don't have it, right? I think ChroPath is not to do with it, right?
No, not currently. Yeah, we are not yet there.
Ankur, do you have any suggestions about that? Or maybe we can talk. In the last, we can take Q and
Sure,
A's
sure,
in the last.
sure, 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 sure. Options to generate dynamic XPath with user attribute with and without text. So I showed you guys like you can generate XPath with your own like choice of attributes, whatever you want to generate, and then there is an option to generate with text and without text. So you see like the websites like e-commerce website or like Twitter or something, like where the feed is very dynamic, right? So if it is generating text with it generating XPath with text, maybe like in next run, if you will refresh the page, that will not be fixed, the text may not be fixed right here. So what you do, like Prabhupada suggests, help you that if you don't want to generate with text or something, that you can generate without text as well. Okay, so this, I guess I'm choosing the wrong example here. So let's say this is generating with text, and if you refresh the page, that this might got changed. So you have that option that you, if you don't want to generate with text, you uncheck this or check this. So that's how it used to it helps you to like generate the XPath with text and without text, where fields are very dynamic. Like e-commerce website, there are a lot of change happens very frequently, so there you can just uncheck those fields, I mean uncheck those keywords. So okay, yeah, so like it helps a lot to generate XPath with text and without text basically. Then Copath gives the iframe XPath along with the element XPath just in single click. So you see like till today we were having this problem like writing XPath or generating XPath for iframes, right? So you see like when we are writing XPath for any element, we never check that that element is inside iframe or not, right? So let's say, for example, we have to write the XPath for this element, or let's say we have to enter the value inside this element. Okay, so when you will type here, uh, let's say we can use this ID and put @ID. Okay, so 1 of 1 matching. We will use this, right? You will use this XPath in your script, and it's good to go. But then when script start failing, you will scratching your head that this is matching 1 of 1, but why my script is failing, isn't it? And it will be like if you're a beginner, you never handle any iframe, it will be hard time for you to identify what this element is inside iframe. But then at some point of time, either with your own genius or like you will take a help of your senior that why it's failing, then you will scroll in the DOM and you will see that this element is inside iframe. Why to waste that much time, like hours or half an hour of time? Just open Copath and inspect that element. You see, you got the XPath for that element. Not just that XPath for the element, you get the XPath for iframe as well as you know that it is inside iframe. So it's so easy it is for you. And if you want to verify XPath, I mean elements inside iframe, you just like you can verify inside iframe as well. So it makes a lot more easier for you to like play with the iframes as well now, and no more time waste, any more time waste. You just inspect the element, it will immediately give you the XPath for the iframes and as well as the uh, XPath for the element, that element which you will inspect. So you see here, this is immediately telling you. And so far, like till today, I mean, if you haven't come across with this feature, people have wasted a hell lot of time from the beginning of the browsers when this thing came in the picture. Like we were wasting a lot of time. There's one thing we have to consider, that it supports iframe which are from same source. Iframes which are from different source we can't support, like nobody can support because of like those frame because of security purposes. Chrome doesn't allow to inject a script inside those iframes. So but it will solve your purpose, because all the iframes, whenever you have to perform, all the frames will be from your same source only, so no need to worry. Then unique XPath for SVG element and SVG child elements. So you might have seen like you would have heard a lot that there's no tool which supports SVG elements. Recently, I was watching a couple of videos where trainers used to tell like there's no tool to support SVG element, but that's not true anymore. You see that this is the element. Let's say this is an SVG element. You right click and copy XPath and see what DevTools provide. So this is of course 0 of 0, but let's open ChroPath and see the magic. You see, ChroPath gives you the XPath for the this child elements. I mean for this elements, SVG elements as well. You see, XPath for the SVG elements.
So this is
So,
really
yes.
interesting stuff. SVG elements.
Yes.
Like, this will solve a lot of problems in automation.
And one can easily like means if you're a beginner or you don't know how to write what are the patterns for SVG element, one can easily learn from here. Like this is the pattern of writing the XPath for SVG element, because there are many people who doesn't know how to write the XPath for SVG element. So it makes simple. Like this is the pattern of writing. This is how you write the XPath for SVG element. So yes.
Thanks, Sanjay. Looks good.
Yeah, and then there is a smart maintenance feature. This is amazing. Like you might have heard like till today, like if you have to verify XPath for your script, this is your script, right? You have to verify XPath. You will have to copy this XPath one by one. Suppose you're either here or like here in DevTools, you will be verifying one by one, right? Let's say if a small change happened in your UI, what you will do, and your script got start failing. I'm getting some noise. Somebody, can you please put on mute if you are on unmute? Okay, so you see this this elements, like if your UI got changed, all is and its XPath will start breaking. You will have to verify one by one all the XPath. Is there anything which makes it possible to verify all the XPath complete script in single shot? Yes, this is possible with the help of a smart maintenance of ChroPath feature. And you see, like in industry, many of the script goes on like backlog just because of like nobody wants to verify, nobody wants to fix one XPath, all the XPath one by one, right? So that is the problem. Writing a script doesn't take too much time, but maintaining is the like maintenance is the toughest task. So is it possible like we can verify complete script? Yes, it is possible now, and you need not to do anything. You just copy everything, all the shit here, like import statement, class statement. No, don't worry about them. Just copy complete thing. Come here in ChroPath, and let's say we want to verify on this page. So for whichever page you want to verify the selectors, come to that page, click on smart maintenance feature in ChroPath, click to edit paste all the XPath. And don't worry, whatever I'm saying, all the video tutorials are there on my YouTube channel so that you can watch, and links here as well. And you just paste that complete script here, and you see the command you have to pass, what XPath command you are using in your script, and just click on OK. You see the magic? All the XPath has been fetched from your script, and it is telling you the occurrences of them. Now you can fix your XPath here. So you click on this edit icon, you hit enter, you fix that XPath, replace in your script, which are the 0, 0, 0, 0. Isn't it so easy and making life so simpler? Yes, definitely. And let's say you have something like this, because in my previous company, I used to write these selectors like this in XML file. And this was my pattern of writing XPath. So what we have to do, I will have to just copy this complete script, come here, I mean basically complete page, click on edit, paste this complete thing, and wherever I have written the XPath, like here I have written, this is where I have written XPath. So what you have to do, copy this and paste it here, let's say, and wherever written XPath, just replace that XPath with XPath value keyword. And this is, as I told you guys, this is just one time effort. Like next time onward, you will not have to change, because that command will be saved in your local. And click OK. It will fetch all the XPath. So you see, all the XPath has been fetched from that page, what I have pasted here, and you see everything is ready for single go. So easy it is. Yeah, so that helps a lot to save a lot of time for you.
Yeah, this is really cool stuff. I think I didn't realize this, so we'll definitely try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would request you guys, like, because many people doesn't know all these features and everything, because
Correct.
it is
Yeah.
not being properly shared with the people, and people think this GrowPath is this an XPath tool. So let me tell you, it's not just any more XPath tool. It's a
Yeah.
beyond that. And let me show you something really amazing now, which will like feel really good for you. Such a time saver it will be. So I hope like I'm not getting bored, you guys. So you see, like as a developer, whenever we develop any feature, we always do at least a one round of testing, right? At least one round of testing. But when we have to give that feature to developer, we all to test for the testing, we always have to explain them like, look, these are the features, this is the flow you have to test it, right? But then when tester will be testing, he will be testing the flow, and by some mistake or missing some flow, they will come with an invalid bug to the developer. And it happen a lot. And as a tester, when we are doing the testing, if we got any bug, we have to reproduce that bug, and we have to write down all those steps to tell the developer, to share with the developer that these are the steps which to reproduce this bug. Is it not taking too much time taking writing those steps, reproducing the bug, raising the invalid bugs? And if anything got broken in production, we don't have proof, because nobody writing the manual test cases or English test cases. And then we'll have to start playing that blame game. People start playing blame game, like, no, this is a development issue, this is a testing issue, this is something else, requirement missing, and all those. So how can we solve that problem? Let me introduce GrowPath Studio here. With that, this is possible. Like, you will get all the uh, English steps, test cases, and everything without doing anything. Let me show you. You will not be doing anything extra. Whatever you are doing, you will be doing, keep doing that only. So let's say you have developed a search functionality on LinkedIn. Suppose we have developed, and I have developed a search functionality on LinkedIn. What I will have to do, I will be doing at least a basic round of testing, isn't it? So only thing what I will have to do, I will just click on this GrowPath Studio icon, that's all. Now I will be doing my own the testing which I was doing previously. So let's say this is a search functionality. Hit enter. I type GrowPath and then press enter. Then let's say click on people. Then I will go down. Then I will click on next. And let's say if I open any profile here. Okay. So now see, so this is, let's say this is I completed here, or let me click on home. So this is all we have performed. Okay, and now my flow is working, everything is fine. I have to give this to test for testing. So I will have to explain to the tester, but no, I will not have to do anything anymore. What I will do, I will give that build to tester, and I will copy paste these steps to him. Like, look, these are the steps you have to follow for testing. So now you see here that what all we have done. You see, open website, this, enter search, GrowPath, then we press enter, then we click on people, then we click on next, then we click on this, and everything is here. You can also save the test case. You can share this test case with the tester. And if you're a tester, you got any bug while doing the testing, you can share these steps with your developer and tell him like, look, these are the steps. You need not to reproduce the issue anymore. You need not to write the manual steps anymore. And something more amazing, a lot of things you are getting here without, and you see like what you have done, you have just click on that GrowPath Studio icon, that's all you have done. And more things, if you are an automation engineer and you have to write the automation script, you see all the commands you are getting here, isn't it? Your test case, like your manual test case is ready, your automation test case is ready, your data is ready. And there are like a lot of things here that if you want to update this command, you can update this command as per your feasibility, like add find by or anything. Or you just want the XPath, you turn off this, you just get the XPath or every element ID with ID or whatever you want. So this is something really amazing. And if you want to like add any statement, like verify statement or sleep statement, anything that you can add it here. By mistake, if you added any steps, that you can delete here. So everything is here, just without doing anything extra from your side, right?
Yeah, this is something I think the one of the best feature I can say in GrowPath right now. So this will solve the lot of problems. I think this will be a quick feedback loop within dev and test guys, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I think this I'll
Yeah, so
definitely try next week directly.
sure, sure, Ankur. And these are some of the achievements of ProPath. You might have heard like any tool or any software have been ever called by engineers as lifesaver. Engineers calls ProPath lifesaver. So this is a like really good compliment. ProPath used to keep getting very frequently.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
these are some of the logos which companies using, which engineers from these companies like Google, Apple, Walmart, and everything. And this is a map for ProPath. It's being used by in more than 180 countries almost. And with that, thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, Ankur, for hosting this show and starting and giving me the opportunity to talk to you guys and with the community. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So if you have
it
any
was our
question,
pleasure to have you on our platform. So we are here to build a community so that we can help each and everyone in the automation journey. So our agenda
sure.
is like we are not trying to become another QA group. We have some plans in future. So let's see how things goes. We need your blessings, and probably we might call you again for bigger audience.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I would really like to thank Sanjay that thank you so much for the great tool you invented, or rather worked on, is you're still working on. Uh,
Thank you, guys.
it does really give a, I'm sure many of my teammates may get help in it. And definitely the last thing which you kept for the last, the test steps became my favorite. So yeah, that's something I'm going to use ASAP.
Sure.
And absolutely, Ankur, I think you also ensure that this doesn't become a very common and the normal platform. Let's bring the innovations and the good stuff here.
Yeah. Thanks everyone who joined the call. And I think probably we are recording this stuff, so we'll soon upload in our YouTube channel. And then I think if you want to have any questions directly to Sanjay, you can find him in all the social medias. He's very active on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. And if he seems to be busy, you can come to me and I'll pass the questions to Sanjay.
Yeah, sure. Feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Yeah.
And you have all the links here. So like anytime, any questions is there. So actually like Slack is there. You can raise the issue which you face in ProPath. So everything is there. And I'm very active. Like you have this community link, all the Twitter and everything. Slack link is there. Git link is there. And so everything is there. So you just look around and yeah. And feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Ankur.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
everyone.
guys.
Have a good
Have a good
day.
day.
It was
Bye-bye.
nice talking
Thank
to you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.